I have had a go at creating something that I've called flow state dev. So I've not done this really before, but Claude Code has given me the confidence to have a go at it. So I've been using Claude Code fairly heavily this week. Had looked at it before, but not really done anything actively with it. And so I decided that I will try to customize it a little bit to make it faster for me to get to a project that is a structure that I like. And so, because I don't want to have to explain everything all the time, that's not great for doing multiple projects. It's fine if you're doing one. Anyway, I've also never made a properly working npm js.com package, so that's a new thing to try. So this is the repository on GitHub, which I thought about yesterday, and Claude Code made it with me this morning. So to start with, I'm just using Vue 3 and Supabase. I've used React with AI tools in the past, and always had a lot of issues with things like the routing and joining the back end to the front end. And Vue is perhaps not exactly enterprise level software, but is perfectly good for the things that I need to do, and is a lot simpler. And I think the AI coding has a lot less trouble doing it correctly because it doesn't rely on me to know what I'm doing as much. So, all right. So I'm fascinated by how like an npm package actually works. So we've created one. So um, let's let's first make sure that we have Claude installed, because I don't think I have done that on this computer as such yet. So just a minute. No, so I haven't done anything. So this is Linux Mint. So I'm going to make a folder for Claude with an E. I don't think I've even got Claude Desktop installed. No, I suppose I should probably do that first, shouldn't I? Because I think I'm not sure if it relies on it, but it is possibly helpful to have it there. So actually, it's a while since I installed Claude Desktop on here, and I don't think I actually need to. So I might just log into the Claude website. That'll be easier. Okay, so I'm logged in as Claude. So, so we actually need to install Claude code. So install Claude code. There's a command to run. This one here. Okay, so let's go back to terminal and Control-Shift-V. I got to do, well, we really are getting back to basics, so I've got to do npm install first, sorry. sudo at install npm. Alright, that's doing its thing. Yes. I'll make the box a bit bigger, hey? Right, we're really back to basics here, but that's okay. It's a long time since I've actually done this, so anyway, that's fine. We'll get there. So while that's going, just some interesting things. So like the project directory, they say to do that. Yep, so that's cool. And then you use the word Claude to start it. What's some interesting things? So this memory stuff. So I I went ahead and made a user memory file for myself, so that and it has things about my not very good technical abilities and the device I'm on and things like that, and that I like to do things in Vue and whatever. So yeah, worth having a go at doing that because it lets you carry some preferences across between your projects. What else is interesting in here? So on Windows and Mac, you can, if you install MCP servers on Claude Desktop, you can import them from Claude Desktop. It doesn't work on Linux because I guess it's not an official Claude app. But yeah, you can do that command and it'll pull them over, which is quite cool. Probably some of the other commands to learn, like using the slash and the question mark and stuff to just kind of work your way through it, I guess, is pretty important. Okay, so that's done. So let's see, up arrow, up arrow. Can we do that now? Great. No, why didn't that work? Do I need to do something different? Looks like there's a bunch of instructions to fix it properly. I guess I can do it properly then. So, alright. Well, we're really getting off into the weeds here, aren't we? Never mind. Okay, so we're going to do this. Then we're going to do npm config set prefix thing. Okay, then we're going to run this command for whatever that is, and then this command to do whatever that does, and then maybe we'll install now. Yeah, great. Okay. Yay for Claude teaching me how to use Linux. Okay, it's installed. Awesome. Alright, and we've got our Claude folder, which is empty at the moment. So that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to try and install flow state dev. So, alright, let's have a go. So if I do that, alright, well that happened and it didn't give any errors, so that's good. Create a new project. Alright, so, well, we should be able to do this FSD help thing. So what was the command that it had? I think it was FSD. Yeah, FSD help. Let's see if that works. So FSD help. Oh, cool. Yeah, that works. I like how it did the little words thing. I didn't do that. Claude just made that up itself. That's pretty cool. Okay, so alright, let's try the making an app thing. So FSD init and what are we going to do? We'll do how about a world clock? World clock demo. Okay, so we'll do that. Initializing a repository, creating a project. Okay. Seems fine. There's a folder. Okay. cd Claude clock. Alright, so we've got a Claude file, index file, package, readme, v, things like that. Okay, that's pretty cool. Alright, let's have a look and see what's in those files. Alright, so if I go here, go to Claude, go to the world clock demo, so the Claude file. Okay, so this is so the Claude file is sort of like instructions for Claude. And so I've been thinking about it as kind of like the system prompt for Claude code, I suppose. Because there isn't really, like, there's no, as far as I can tell, there's no system prompt that you can just like insert. But it uses this as its like instructions file. And so things that you put in here become like the instructions for the project. And the readme file, so this is just kind of same, I guess that's the same thing, but sort of explains it. Alright, and I guess those other things are all things to make a website. Cool, okay. So, alright, so you've got to do this environment variables thing as well. I guess I should do that. I have to go and make a account on, I guess I better go and make what do I got to do, a Supabase account? Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, so this is assuming that I'm using a self-hosted Supabase. I should probably do something that's like when you use a hosted one too. So, alright. Maybe I can just do it without that for now. I think it will work okay without doing that. But, so I'll do this bit here to make the environment variable file. So that just makes like a copy of it. So I'll paste that in there. So now we should have a file. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's... Yeah, cool. So that is the hosted Supabase thing. So it should, I mean, you should be able to use a self-hosted one in there too. I'm leaning towards the hosted one. If I don't know, I want to get it working better with like MCP or something so that Claude can control what's going on in Supabase, because it's kind of tedious doing the SQL commands by hand. Okay, well, let's just going to sign up for a free Supabase account, shall we? Why not? Supabase.com. I have an account under my name, which I think already has something in it. Maybe, I'm not sure. I think I was logged in with GitHub, wasn't I? Okay, let's check that. Yep, okay, so I need to get rid of these projects, I think. Alright, let's yep, we don't need that. Let's just get rid of this stuff. It was just in here for testing anyway, so. And I don't think we need that. No. No, that's all paused. Okay, cool. So how do we get rid of this stuff? Just yeah, I was just playing around with actually. Gee, this is ages ago. I was trying to figure out how to do the Supabase connection from the Google AI builder in AI Studio. And this one was when I was trying to figure out how to get root commander to talk to Supabase, and also that is not happening, so that's someone else's job. Okay, so we have now got an empty Supabase. So if we make a new project, and what do we call it? World clock demo. World clock demo. Is that right? Doesn't really matter, but yeah. Okay, world clock demo. Database password. Okay, I guess I better make one of those. So hang on a second. Okay, I'm going to delete this afterwards anyway, so it doesn't really matter if you see the password. That's not the password. Let's have another go. How did that work? Copy. Paste. That's better. Okay. Righto, create new project. I wonder if that's the password you use in that file. Maybe. Is there any other setting you use? I don't think so. That's probably the password, I guess. We'll put it in there and see. I think that's right. I haven't really used Supabase properly on the hosted version very much. I suspect that is the password for that spot. Okay, so we're going to give it a name. So we're going to go, oh, does that have to be, yeah, it's got to be like underscored or whatever, I guess. So, world clock demo. I don't know if it's got to be snake case or not, but I'll do snake case. OpenAI API key. We don't really need that for what we're doing, so just save that file. Okay. All right. So what next? Start developing. npm install. npm run dev. Okay. So do I need to do that? Maybe I do. Okay. So npm install. Oh, because that'll install. I think that installs Vite and Node and stuff. Is that what's happening there? Probably. Okay. So I think what's installing now will be like the hosting environment for Node, probably. I'm assuming we're going to end up with if I do npm run dev, we'll end up with a page that is like a coming soon page. Maybe. Alright. Don't know if that's right about those deprecated things. Okay, so npm run dev. Okay, so I mean it's a blank white page, that's probably fine, I guess. I don't know. I suppose it's supposed to be doing anything. It does say the project name, so okay, well I guess we try and build something now. Oh, I should do this labels thing. Okay, so FSD labels should oh, I should have done that from another terminal. Okay, note to self, do that from another terminal next time. Control C. Okay, so if I do FSD labels, oh, I've got to add a remote repository. Okay, I'll have to do that first. Okay, hang on a second then. Okay, so we're going to go make a new repo, world clock demo, public's fine. This is just a demonstration. Okay, so where am I putting that? Does it go in the environment variables or something? I don't know. I might have to ask Claude to help with that part because I do not know. What does it say in the README? Okay, I don't know. I might have to figure out. I must be missing something there. Alright, we can do that labels thing afterwards anyway. Let's get Claude happening. GitHub repo as an origin first. Okay. Oh, maybe we can figure out a better way of doing that. Maybe we can do that as part of the setup. Alright, good user testing. Let's okay, look, let's start Claude. Okay, so Claude code. And I'm guessing it's going to log in, dark mode. I'm going to do the login method. Help. Okay. Cool. And yes, we want to do trust the files. Okay. So I think we need to run a init on Claude now for it to figure out what we're doing. Is that right? Yeah. I wonder if I have to fill this in. Maybe not. I don't know. Check that. Okay. Obviously, my instructions here could do a little bit of help for someone like me that doesn't know what they're doing, but we're going okay so far. So let's just do a init and see what it does. Init. So this init feature is very cool. It goes and looks at the files to see what's in your project folder. So the idea will be is that I'm going to try and add in some more like project documentation files and things like that, so that there's kind of maybe like even an interactive way where when you do the flow state dev, you can sort of tell it a bit about your project or like point it to some files and then it'll know what you're doing. I'm not quite thought about how that will work yet, but anyway. Yep, let's do that. Just let's let Claude do whatever it needs to do. Basically, it's supposed to be looking at what's going on. Okay. Maybe I should have done that already. Okay. So maybe I get Claude to help with this. Yeah. Okay. So this could have been interactive by getting Claude to do it with me, I guess. It probably doesn't matter which way. So I've actually done those 3 steps. So I guess like an alternative would be to let Claude do this with me, which actually probably be better. So I think I might work on that being the default, where when you do the init with Claude, it knows, like if we give it a file, it will know to work its way through doing these things. That would be heaps better. Much less like manually doing stuff. Okay, so yeah, so this is the part where I haven't done any further than this, but the next step now should be that there's like instructions on the project. So create a world clock demo web page. And we do shift tab to get plan mode on. I mean, obviously this project doesn't particularly benefit from having a database, but that's besides the point. All right. What's it gonna do? Place there with the clock interface. Sounds good to me. All right, cool. So it'll always do this first go. I like to make it go one step further. So I'll go no and say, yep, great. Now think carefully about the requirements. Document, and then proceed. And this, so what you're doing is you're forcing it to go like one level of thinking deeper. So see how it's doing the thinking mode now? And I've found that by doing this, what you're doing is getting like a more complete plan or a complete approach. And I've been getting a better outcome from getting it to do some thinking, because see how it's now got phases and stuff? That's very cool. Right, so it's got a lot more comprehensive. And so the thing is, by doing this, and I guess you could probably even go like again if you really wanted to, but for our purposes I think this will be fine, so we're just going to proceed from there. And hopefully it will actually add a file of some sort, a to-do file or something. Or it might actually put that in the Claude file, does it? I don't remember. Where does it put the to-do list? Or does it just keep it in memory? I don't remember. Again, this is something I want to build in a bit more smarts, where it has a sort of structure around the project running part, like the to-do things. I don't look. I have no idea whether this looks like I know what I'm doing or not, but I just find the way this works, the fact that it works at all, is completely amazing and miraculous. Like you, and it's only not even a year ago, so 9 months ago when I started using Vault.new, and that was, I'm not sure, I forget when it was launched. Anyway, I started using it probably August, September, I think, 2024. And at the time, it blew me away. Like the idea you could just put in a prompt and it would give you like a finished front end in Tailwind. I was like, that is amazing. And I spent a lot of time using it, like a lot of time. It was really at that point where I was like, oh, okay, this is quite different. And the back end of that was Sonnet 3.5. And it was incredible how well it worked. And this, so I'm on the max plan with Claude, so I can use the Opus model, which is the bigger one, I think, more sort of clever one. And look, I just can't quite, like I can't quite, explain how impressive to me this is. Okay, so it doesn't need camel case, it just wants like normal words. That's cool. That this works as well as it does. It's fascinating to me that it works. That it works at all, actually. And that it works well enough for someone like me that doesn't really have a proper developer background to be able to do this. Like I would have given up ages ago trying to do this all manually. It just would have been, you know, a lot to deal with. Sure. Yep, let's do some linting. So that's just checking for problems, I guess. There's no git ignore file. Probably we need a git ignore file in the default install. That would be probably a good idea. So, yep, that's something that's missing. Don't know what the rest of the errors are. Yes, that's having parsing issues. Okay. So we need to make sure that ESLint is part of the install as well. So I think that's like a dependency. It has to be part of the npm install, doesn't it? Okay. All right. So we need to add that into the setup, probably. Yeah, cool. So it's found an error with lint. Let's ignore the error. Oh, okay. Cool. It's not using it. That's fine. Okay. Cool. Nice little explanation. All right, let's click and hope. No. Why isn't it running? It's not running. The server's running. I might just go and do that manually first and just see if that's all that's going on. What is it? npm run dev. Okay. I've got a blank white page, but the server is running now, so that's good. Must be some errors. Supabase, blah blah blah. Okay, we're not really using Supabase, so we shouldn't matter about that. Okay, so why have we got errors on a blank page? I don't know how much of this is me not setting things up correctly and how much is kind of like I've created a mistake. Okay, so I had to run npm run dev to get the server working, and all I get is a blank white page and this in the console, but we're not really using Supabase right now anyway. So I don't know, there might be something that like the initial page needs to be better, that we, like the default page that we're creating needs to be better or something. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, it was just because Supabase was something, I don't know. Okay, we have a world clock. That's pretty cool. Wow. About world clock. Login. What's the login for? Yeah. So you can customize your clock, I guess. Let's go. Wow. Do you know, like, this is so fantastic. Boop. Crikey. How good is that? I love it. Do. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, it's nothing like amazing, but it works. How cool is that? It actually works. Yay. I'm so happy. Okay. Well, amazing. It works. Can we improve the design and make it look a bit cooler? I don't know. I don't know what word I feel like using for it. Doesn't matter. Again, so I'm going to do Shift Tab to get to plan mode. And I might just give it a screenshot as well. I haven't really got any screenshot tool set up. Don't worry about it. It'll figure it out. Okay, so let's do that. I'm so impressed. I know I'm easily impressed, I guess, but you have to understand, like, I'm not a quote-unquote proper web developer. You know, my job normally is like thinking about problems and figuring out how to put solutions in, not doing all the developer work. Cool. Yeah, like, have at it. Oh, actually, am we using Vuetify 3? I think we told it to, so it should be. Let's go. Let's see what it does. I won't do like publishing and stuff at this step because I need to do some work on getting like the GitHub stuff working properly. So, but as like as a proof of concept, I'm so impressed this worked as well as it did. Obviously, I've got a couple little issues to try and figure out there, but it's working really well. I think like and it probably doesn't look like much in terms of like what we've done to Claude code yet, but I want this to be so I don't have to kind of remember what to tell it each time. Like I really want to have like a pre-ready sort of system where I can just go, cool, we're going to build an app. This is what we're doing. Let's go. And not have to think about it too hard. Like I even want to have like the MCP model context protocol servers as maybe some kind of like dependency or something so that Claude can just deal with Supabase by itself. So again, I don't want to be like doing, if I can avoid it, I prefer not to be doing SQL commands. I do love with Feet, this is awesome, how you can see when it's doing like the styling changes and stuff, how it does it by itself. Like it shows what's going on, which is just cool. And so you can see what it's doing with the code and style, and then and you can see it happening though, which is, I think that's fabulous. Like I really, it just gives me such great joy to see this sort of thing working at all. But oh look, see, it's made the buttons really nice. Wow. What's digital? Both. Okay, is it going to add an analog thing? Goodness. Seconds. Diff. Dark mode. Okay, it's thinking about it. And doing things in the terminal is very token efficient. You know, you're not wasting effort on the interface, which is really like, yeah, again, it's just nice. I don't mind that it takes a little while to do it too, because I actually quite like having a bit of a look at the code. So even though I don't understand it properly, you know, I could look at it and go, oh, okay, like it's, you know, doing something here with like icons or something, and you can see it's got time zones, and it's like working on the world clock page that has the clocks to show. I find it very almost relaxing, like when it's working properly. Which no, like I just think this is properly the future of like web application development. I think, which is not, you know, getting too frustrated trying to figure out like, I don't know, like fixing errors in code or something. Like, you know, I think you should be able to just like, yeah. Okay, I think we might need to do a force refresh for this to look right. Oop. Why are they all in a line? And might just check in incognito mode in case that's just browser caching. Where's incognito mode? Where is it? Oh, it's behind it. Okay, just check and see. Nope, that's definitely not right. Okay. Oh, that's super annoying. Okay, I mean, this is not part of the demo of installing this, but I guess on principle now, I can't just leave it like that. The clock panels all appear to be a vertical stack instead of across the page. Are we supposed to have an analog clock view? I see the toggle for digital, and it's really visually annoying that the time completely blinks. Is that just one of these options? No. When the whole, when the seconds is on, the whole row, the whole time, hours, minutes, seconds, PM, all that blinks, not just the seconds changing. Also, can you just have a good look for any other issues? Plan mode, boom, okay. It's getting really annoying, I don't want to look at that. I think it's good to see, does this dark mode work? Oh, that's lovely. That is pretty good. I mean, the banner's a bit meh, but the fact I can actually get dark mode working, like you wouldn't believe how much work I used to try and put into just getting a workable dark mode. I really like this is Vuetify, Vuetify 3, which is like a design thing for Vue. So what's I want to do? Div class, that's sort of an error. Yeah, analog clock view. I'll just clean up the UI and move it. Yeah. Sure, let's just do that. I don't want to, I'm not actually trying to make a world clock, so I will just finish off these little issues just for the satisfaction of knowing that this is completed. Probably the other thing I would do would be to fix up the padding here. And I reckon we will probably find out that it has used gap in the padding instead of GP, because that happened to me on another project. See if we can find the word gap in here. Because Vue uses GP. It might be Tailwind that uses gap or something like that. MB class font medium, that's normal for Vue. Don't know. Maybe it just didn't put any space in between them. That's probably all. It's probably just didn't put any space in between the objects, the buttons. That's fine. Again, as I say, I am not trying to create a world clock. I'm just trying to check that the npm package installed, which it did ages ago. So let's not get too stuck on the details, hey? So I've got to add a clock back in, do I? Ooh, that's cool. Oh, it didn't add the clock. It's still going. I'll let it go. What a cool menu. Oh, that's the little icon things. Interesting. Oh, let's go to kangaroo. How interesting. Boop. That is cool. Yes, we do want to run the lint because I think we've got an error because there's no clock showing up. Maybe. I'll just close incognito mode. Again. Okay, so incognito mode. Have we got clocks showing up? No. Well, that is an interesting problem. Come on. No clock panels visible at all now. Back to plan mode, sort it out. No, it's running, and I can see the page, I can click to select clock time on the pop-up, but just the widget for the clock doesn't appear. All I have is the add clock placeholder. This is probably a good example of changing the design after you've done something can sometimes be a bit fraught. Right, yes, do the fixes. There we go. Yay! And probably the seconds should always be 2 digits. Do I care? Not greatly. Honestly, I'm not going to be using it, so I'm not really worried. Let's just make sure it works. It does. Very cool, very cool. And, oh, the color is to do with the time of the day. Of course it is. Excellent. I love it. So pleased that all worked. Very cool. Okay, I'm done. Excellent. Time to go improve our NPM package.